I think we live. Um, I rolled up something for this occasion. I don't even know if I actually need headphones on. Got my mic right here. What's going on? Yeah, I should guess I'll let y'all know what I'm working with. I bought a Blue Yeti. This is just a warning. I tested out a pawn shop. Don't buy things from the pawn shop. Not unless you know they work. Don't do it. Just go with Amazon, marketplace, certified use, things like that. But yeah, as you can hear, here's the mic. My first episode, I actually didn't have my face on it. I posted it. It was basketball content. I put it on my other channel. Uh, I'm rambling now, but yeah. In this video, I'm going to be talking about. I wanted it to be more of a relaxing video that where I can kind of get some of the concepts off that I'm trying to get off. But this video was supposed to be an understanding or why not to be so hard on yourself. Realizing uh my introverted ways and I need that. Next time I'm gonna actually write it down. I'm gonna have it. You know what I mean? Because it's my first time or my first. I like it, so I'm trying to start. Cameras up here. My apologies, but yeah, gotta look more at the camera. There we go, right there. Maybe I should turn this off because I can see myself, so I'm like looking down. But I'm not pulling up anything on my. I'm not pulling up anything right now, so I'll just minimize this. But the understanding of like I don't know if my mama made me bougie or I use the term bougie. Or introverted, you know what I mean? I don't know if that was just how I grew up or if that was, that was what was destined for me, right? I actually need to look at this a little bit. A little bit. All right, so I can cut this whole part out of the camera. I ain't even tripping. Just not the live, but you know what I mean. So I don't know who made me that way, but I was distant. I was like I said, I would say a very introverted individual. Um, More so, I can't even say introverted because let's go there. Since I don't really have my phone, let's go there. Let's look up the actual specific meaning of what being introverted is. An introvert person is, an introvert is a person with qualities of a personality type known as introversion, which means they feel more comfortable focusing on their inner thoughts and ideas rather than what's happening on the rather than what's happening externally, right? All right. So from an understanding on what that word actually means, yes, that's why they say most Virgos are definitely introverted, can be extroverted in particular settings. Um, but I don't know who made me that way. You know what I mean? Like who made it so that I was real like boxed in. And what I mean by learning, like if I would have known that real success, like actually a lot of introverts are successful. So that's why I say when you learn yourself, you'll really figure it out, and you like it'll be like this. Like you like, damn, like why didn't I figure this out like 3-4 years ago? Because you didn't, you didn't have that time to really cultivate your ideas like you wanted to, right? Um, let's turn this down. Got text messages coming in. All right, so okay. Um, um, but if I would have known, like I felt like my mom did, she did her thug thriller, right? But if I would have known the aloneness or extrovertedness, let's say I would use the term extroverted. But if I would have known that me stand to myself is what would have helped me be more successful, like I would have been more bougie. Like I would have been more like because I was cold hearted when I was when I was a young buck. Don't touch me. Like real Virgo-ish. Now that I think about it, a lot of Virgos act like that. So it's hard not to believe in astrology when people be astrology. You know what I mean? Like they really be doing a sign. They really be acting like that shit. Like so, it be making me laugh because I'll just be sitting there like, damn, like my favorite player Kobe. So there's a lot of things that Kobe did that I was like, ooh. When I read his book, it talked about Virgos having this dark side, like every sign does. You know what I mean? But it was just like, but it's like a competitive nature dark side. They said Michael had it too, and it's like it's dangerous going there, but it's like you create your best art out of like in your darkest room. Like that's how I would describe it. You create your best art, your best canvas, your best piece in your darkest room. There's beautiful flowers that only grow in the dark. But yeah, before I get off topic, I wasn't gonna try to make this live very long. I just wanted to, like I said, get some understanding on some of these things. So like I said, if I would have known that the more time I spend with myself, the more I would have understood myself. That's what I'm speaking on it now. I'm talking to my daughter. If she ever decides to listen to these, I'm talking to my children, all of them, if they ever decide to listen to these. My siblings, if they ever decide to listen, my homies. Like, find yourself early, so then you're not finding the things that you love to do at 30. You know what I mean? This goes for men and women. You know what I mean? You can make some bad decisions or some, let's not call them bad, but yeah, you made some bad decisions and now you're spending the majority of your adulthood as a parent. And then when your kids get grown, then it's like you don't really know what to do with yourself. Spoken that years ago. You know what I mean? Some people just call it quits and they don't even really try to find, their joy again in life. I think it's crazy. So, like I was saying, if I would have known like that finding my peace, that alone, like what I mean, I feel like I spent some time like not chasing, but trying to get this image together that really wasn't me. So then when I actually start growing in my own ideas and not listening to whatever everything else that's going on the outside world, I started, finding the beauty in myself and things I love to do and things I'm naturally good at. Like, I sent my dad my first live, and he was like, "Hey, yeah, like I was gonna let you know, like you should do something like this, like you naturally good at it." And I've been trying to figure out how to do it. And it's not necessarily figuring out how to do it; it's just doing it. It's picking something and jumping on there and doing it. That's what I'm learning how to do. It's like they say it all the time as like a creative. You're gonna have so many failures that eventually something is gonna pop. And the crazy thing is it might pop and it still have errors in it. It might pop and still not be perfect. It might pop and still, like, what I mean? You're finding the sound, but it's popping while you're finding your sound. And by popping, I mean, to be honest with you, that's why I be trying to tell people when it comes to this audience stuff, you'll be so nervous if 30,000 people was sitting here on this live listening to you. You know what I mean? I know I would be. Stop licking yourself. They hear you, like you close to my can. You close to my mic. So you licking yourself, they probably hear it in the mic. Can you not do that? Please. What you want to hit? Nah. Talking to my dogs, by the way. But I was gonna say you making licking sounds now. I forgot what I was about to say. And the hard shout out to, I think it's Erica Williams. I listen to her show like religiously. Like she got gems on there. I'm kind of mad that I missed the paying for the last training that I could have, but hindsight, I had some other stuff that I had to pay for. But I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get to the information. I'm gonna get to a couple of her courses. I like how she teaches. But she talks about it a lot. And like one of these days I'll pull up a couple portions of her lives, and we'll go over them, and of some things that she talks about that's brewing, that I know as a culture, we got to get together. And I'm the understanding, that's what I'm saying, like it got bad, because I felt like with the understanding, I started to notice that there is, like, if you want to call them secret societies, you can, but I would say there's more like everybody's ducked off. Like there's definitely classes. And me being as bougie in my mind as I am, like I want to be in the classes that not a lot of people can be in. You know what I mean? I want to be surrounded by the people that not everybody can be surrounded by. And I realize the sacrifice that takes, but why do I even care about being there? I don't necessarily care about being surrounded by these people, but I do, in a sense. You know, clearly from the way I'm talking. Um I don't want to that's why I was talking I was talking to Cook, and we was expressing, like I was expressing a view that I had, and it was from, like I said, Erica Williams, and then my dad was talking a little bit. And it's like, a lot of stuff comes down to bloodline still. You know what I mean? And it's like not like and it's like your work ethic, it's hard to give, a child that may not be yours, your work ethic. And what I mean by that in a sense is like families, like back in the day, the rich stay with the rich, so what? So then their family wouldn't eventually be peasants. And I just go off of the basic definitions of these words, or you can go like from what the old times were. You know what I mean? And it's like it was the peasants that was like, oh, we're married, and they didn't have nothing, and their money was little, but everything was about love. And it was like, I guess it's cute, beautiful in a little sense, but it was like they didn't have the funds to even provide for these kids. So a lot of these, so their offspring, they're growing up in poverty just like they did. You don't have riches, but you study having kids. And that was like the hard thing for me, because it makes it like that's one of those things that make me want to go harder, but it also makes me want to like separate myself, because I know what I can do and I know what I'm capable of. But you know what I mean? If I never put it out there, then I'm kind of, it's wasted potential. And that's extremely hard for me to get over, because I remember, back when I was younger, hearing the term potential, and my head coach, when I was a sophomore, junior, saying you have potential, but then a lot of us don't even have the community around us to take our potential far. Like, what I mean? Somebody sees something great in you, and you work on cultivating it, but you're a minor. You know what I mean? Like I remember being young and trying to figure out how to make shit work, how to flip, how to get this, how to make, and I was doing it. You know what I mean? I got a lot of my basketball stuff paid for, and things like that, and never really came out of pocket. I always had people supporting, and I was always able to find, hey, no, you're gonna get locked up. Stop it. And then, as you get older, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why it's so important to have a male father figure. If you don't have your direct father, and this is why women do the things that they do, we cannot be mad. Yes, we can. Yes, we can judge, but what's the point in doing that? I'd rather just be of assistance, if that makes sense. Let me see if I'm actually still pulled up. Like, I just honestly want to be of assistance, or I can understand where men, what I mean, want to create a program to help some of these kids, because it's like, if you want to be honest, last one, I be looking at it like no kid left behind type of situation. Like But it's for the souls that actually see what's needed, and they've worked on themselves and they better themselves to get themselves in a better situation, and not falsify their work. So many souls talking about they doing work, but they're not really doing the work. That's why you're not really seeing other parts of you grow. You focusing on doing money, magic, and I was like, we talked about all this before. We be focusing on the wrong things. Even me sometimes. It's like, sit down and do this work. I got so much stuff. I got a book to talk to y'all about. I'll leave it in the description. You know, my first edition of the book is gonna be more editions coming out. I'm gonna work on it so I can get it printed out and add a little bit more to it. But first edition, $10. You know, go check that out. Pack full of information on how to heal yourself, how to heal your inner child, and how to heal your adult self, so then you can parent better. It's packed full of information about what 34, 35 pages. I plan on adding more, but I didn't want any fluff. You know what I mean? I don't do good at giving little information. Like, if I'm being honest, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can jump on here and we can talk about it all day. You know what I mean? But that's pretty much how my brain works. I can get it out. Get out of my kitchen. But sometimes it takes me a while. So, sometimes you got to work on your organization skills. No biggie. But I finally got the first edition out. You know, like I said, I'll leave the description. I'll leave the link in the description. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Leave a review for me. Let's run it up. I think I got like one sale on it. Let's get a couple more souls that pick it up and let me know so I can shout y'all out. Tell me what you think of it. 10 easy bucks. Like I said, it's packed with some information that you may have or may have not heard before. I'm also coming out with a workbook, working on that. I'll get that to y'all soon. Didn't I say get out of my kitchen? Dealing with a puppy, still training her. But God has been good to me, so it's just like with the whole peasant comment. I just know it's like that's on like I'm from Cali, you know what I mean? Like, spoiled weather, and I definitely feel like it was a lot of things I need to grow from and need to get away from. It started by me leaving, the nest as in my city again, wherever I was born and raised. I left home plenty of times. Um, couldn't really figure it out, but it was because I was focusing on a lot of things that I shouldn't have. You know what I mean? And to be more direct, when you focusing in on love while you trying to make sure, like, when your mental is not together, I was not mentally stable. I was not emotionally stable. You know what I mean? Physically, I wasn't stable, but yet I'm dipping in some poon and getting myself in more of a hole. So that was the things that I was trying to make sure that I stayed away from. Clearly, I did not stay away from them, but I did grow. And now I'm at a place where if I make a mistake, I'm like, okay, fuck, let's deal with it. You know what I mean? Whatever comes with that, just got to be real about it. You got to be 100 about it. But the better thing about myself now is I'm more open. You know what I mean? I can express myself. I can get my thoughts off. I can express myself. What was my logo? Midnight Express. I got to come out with all my shirts again. But at this time now, I'm just like, I'm so key. I'm so, like, locked in, keyed in on giving my daughters the information that they need to make sure that they have everything that they want. But on top of that, like, it was like I said, we was having a conversation. I was talking to the mother of my children, about our dads. And I was just like, my dad, like, he hustled, he set money aside, and it was folks stealing from him, so stealing from him. And, she was saying, my dad pretty much the same things, but it wasn't folks. It was, it was one person. And, from that understanding, that's why I say like they tell men, have your stuff together before you be trying to get you a girl, before you even try to be focusing on love, because that black hole and where you can end up and how you can feel so lost after, like, like it can get crazy. And it's just like, it's all because you couldn't control yourself. But then where does control come from? And it's like, that's why sports are so vital, because it's like, and I would say for young men, you know what I mean? Because if they don't have anywhere to put that energy, then where does it go? Because back then we were doing what? Maybe we was hunting, we was going out, doing cultural things with tribes, staying in shape, you know, it could have been whatever. But nowadays, you know what I'm saying, we got the kids. If you don't put them in sports, if you don't keep them busy, if you don't help them cultivate some of the things, you know what I'm saying, they the craziest thing is your kids tend to, even though they're old souls, they could be old souls from, they are, of course, they're old souls from your own bloodline, but just listen to this, like, right? A lot of your kids typically have some of the same gifts that you had as a kid that you just stopped doing. Now, just imagine trying to help cultivate a gift in a kid that you lost passion in. You can't even knock the kids that end up playing the same sport as their parents or as a cousin or as an uncle. You can't even knock it. They had somebody in their bloodline to help cultivate that gift. And looking at it from that perspective, that kid is always going to be grateful for that person once they learn it, how like I'm learning it. That's what I'm thankful for my dad. My dad had plenty of gifts. Plenty of gifts. Sing, write, play hoop, play football. And that's what I'm saying. We make it seem like that's all the culture does, but my dad, he if I'm not mistaken, what did he say? He got a bachelor's. Either that, I don't know, either it was a simple AA, or if I'm not mistaken, he said he went pretty far. He got either a bachelor's or I don't say. Did I remember him saying masters? Or am I just gonna say masters to make it sound good? But he in psychology. Um, So even my dad, he was about his education, even though he was, he loved doing everything. He was about studying people. And that's what I love to do. And that's the funny thing. Like my dad did it. He was in school for it. And it was just like, I went to school for it at first, but then I learned that it was just something that I naturally was doing. So I always knew I wanted to work with people. I just didn't know how. I just didn't know at what capacity. But I knew one thing about myself I had to figure out before I was able to reach certain levels. I had to that your 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 sexual trauma, right? Or the things that happened to you in your past, it can affect so many layers of you that I remember. I mean, I spoke about it before, but that's why I'm re-saying it. It's your lower chakras that have blockages in it when it comes to you not being able to have success in your business, when it comes to you being able to multiply and able to cultivate friendships and business relationships. There's so many people in this world, what I mean, you want to make money with men, you want to make money with women, and sometimes things that you've been through can hurt those relationships that you're trying to build with those people. I feel like I was in that phase. Like, what I mean? Like, everybody can't be attractive, everybody can't be dateable. And you gotta have some kind of standard for yourself. And that's why it's like it's beautiful, once you actually learn. One second. Yeah. So I just had to. Hopefully, it came out pretty decent. I'm gonna send it to my old man and see how we'll see what he thought of it. But I just want to get that thought off. Hopefully, I got most of it off without sounding too scatterbrained. Oh Lord. Like I said, I'm gonna leave my info in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Uh, Tell me your thoughts on it. Like I said, it's just the understanding of man, didn't realize how much I really needed to do, or how much work I really need to get done to get to the levels I need to get to. And it's interesting because when your parents don't have this information and you have to go learn it yourself, what I mean? You can't go, I had to learn that. Like I couldn't, it was certain things that I couldn't take to my parents if they never been through it. What I mean? If they never went through that process, I had to find people that were at the level that I wanted to be at and get to and speak to them. And realizing that a lot of those conversations are not free. Like it's a lot of free information out there, but you need a mentor eventually. And getting a mentor is not free. And if you're not mentally prepared to come out of pocket to pay for mentors to level you up to the next phase or whatever you're trying to do, and they're directly in the field that you're looking for, what I mean? You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. What I mean? I've been the one that wanted to do everything by myself, and then you realize you get burned out, and then you don't want to do anything, and then you quit on everything, and then nothing gets completed, nothing gets finished. We are in the era of systems. You need a system to put in place so then you don't get burned out and you can keep the money flowing in. But yeah, that's all. I am out.